you have a right to know the law. Hello, my name is Ted Robinson. I've been a practicing criminal defense attorney for more than 40 years in Nassau County, Long Island, New York. Clients sometimes ask me, what's going to happen if I get probation? Well, it's fairly simple and direct, and yet it's very complex at the same time. Probation is an alternative to jail. So if you're convicted of a misdemeanor, you would do up to 1 year in jail or 3 years on probation or a $1,000 fine or any combination of those. So if you get 3 years on probation, what can you expect? Well, the first thing is they're going to give you a lengthy list, I mean it's a long legal sheet, of all the conditions of your probation. Basically it comes down to this: don't get rearrested for anything, avoid bad people and vicious acts, don't use intoxicants, get a job, and act nicely. That's basically what it comes down to. But with probation, you have to actually report to your probation officer once a week initially, and then it'll go to once every 2 weeks and once every month, and eventually you'll be calling it in as they learn to trust that you're okay. But they generally believe that you're not okay at the very beginning, and they treat you that way, and so you can expect to be treated that way. So be aware of that. Next, you are subject to random drug tests. You're also subjected to random visits by your probation officer at your home or apartment. And you must let them in or it constitutes a violation. Effectively, it's like being in jail without the bars, but you are subject to all the rules and regulations that they impose upon you. If you have additional special conditions that go along with a driving while intoxicated case, you're going to have a interlock machine put in and in a certain period of time, and have it tested regularly. You're going to pay for all this, and you have to respond whenever they ask you to come in to have it checked and have it recalibrated. All these things go along with probation. Now, if you violate your terms of probation, you are subjected to further sentencing or resentencing. That means they can say, you have violated the terms of probation, and you now have to come back before a judge and be considered for resentencing. Generally, if a judge has given you probation already, they don't want to give it to you again. They would rather put you in jail and give you a harsher lesson. So it's very difficult to get out of a violation of probation without some sort of harsher lesson being learned, and that's what you want to avoid. So if you're on probation, one thing I can tell you for sure, don't use intoxicants of any sort. Alcohol included, even if it's legal, just don't do it. It's just not worth it, because once you get a probation officer against you, it's very hard to make up for lost time, so to speak. Very hard to make up with them. They will look at you with a really bad looking eye, and you don't want that. So just follow the rules and you'll be fine. But make sure you realize before you get on probation that you are willing to do 3 years on probation. And if you are, then abide by the rules, you'll be fine. Now, one thing that you will like to know is you can be heartened to know that if you've done a good job on a 3-year term, you'll often be finished in a 1.5 years if you really follow the rules. For those people who are on for more than a 1.5 years, they generally haven't followed the rules, and then they wind up doing 3 years or close to 3 years on probation. By the way, probation does cost you money for the pre-sentencing report that the judge is going to order, and it also costs you on a monthly basis to be on probation. So it's a very costly enterprise, and they pass it all on to you. So be advised, that's what probation is about, and it can be a difficult and challenging thing to do, but it can also be rewarding because it'll save you from going to jail in many instances. I hope that helps. Thanks.